Hello lovelies, and you're welcome to the M&M series with Eva. Yes, you're welcome again. If you're a new subscriber, you're welcome. If you're an OG here, welcome back. So last week we talked about how, finally, and we looked at the basics, the fundamentals, how a habit is formed and all that, and the frequency of how to repeat that. And we said a habit is formed by 4 fundamental principles, which are the cue, the craving, the response, and the reward. And we looked into that in detail. If you missed that video, please go on out and check it right now. Okay, so yes, we'll be building on that today. So I just want to talk about some things that, and most of the things I want to talk about, the disclaimer, most of the things I want to talk about are in the Atomic Habits. So it's a very good read. I recommend. I will still do an in-depth review, right? But then I just want you to know that most of the things I'm going to say today are in that book. So I have some guidelines, or let's say some tips for us in planning, in achieving that how. The first one is implementation intention. So the implementation intention, it ties a habit with a time and a place. So it's almost like your maybe to-do list or something like that. So you'll be like, maybe you want to do yoga, right? So you'll be like at 6 a.m. that's the time I will do yoga at maybe, or in my parlor. That's the place, in my parlor, in my bedroom, somewhere. That will be the implementation intention, tying that habit to a time and a place, so that you would know that by this time you're supposed to be doing this, and this is the set place. So you don't have to start looking for where will I do it. You've already covered that, okay? So it makes it easier for you to do and all that. But one thing I would like to say is that you should try making a space for one habit. If it's not possible to maybe make it for one habit, you could make a corner of the space for one habit. Let's say you're living in a self-contained, or something like that, a one-room apartment. So you could have your bed for sleeping, right? Then maybe a table for eating and for maybe working, or you might even have a table for eating, then a desk for working. So you know that the table is just for eating, the desk is for working. Then maybe you have a space near the desk that you can do your workouts, or maybe a corridor outside or something, or somewhere outside that you can do your workouts, right? So you just have a place for that said habit. The next thing I want to talk about is the punishment and reward system. Okay, this is not in the Atomic Habits, but if you've been following me for a long time, you would know that when I started blogging, I used to blog on the Boundless Living blog on WordPress. I talked about this, the punishment and reward system, to kind of ginger you to do what you're supposed to do, something like an accountability. So it says that, okay, let's say you do not do what you're supposed to do, there will be a punishment for it. There is something that James Clear called his, right? But it's still, I will still go into that. Anyway, the punishment would be like, maybe I was supposed to work out and I did not work out. So I would, instead of doing, that's what I was doing anyways, I used to do 2 of what I'm supposed to do as a punishment. Let's say I was supposed to do 10 jumping jacks, for example, and today I didn't do it. So tomorrow I'll do 20 jumping jacks, you get? So I'll just kind of make it, make doing 20 jumping jacks, make it seem crazy to me. So I'll be gingered to do what I'm supposed to do, right? So just make the punishment something that you wouldn't be happy doing. Basically, that's why it's called a punishment. It's not supposed to be something you enjoy. Then reward is like, if I do this thing, then I get to enjoy something. A reward is like, oh, you're enjoying something, right? So let's say If I pass my test, maybe I'll get myself a new slippers or something like that. So I'm going to work towards passing that test, right? So yeah, something like that anyways. But that one is not in the atomic habits, like I said before. Moving on, the next one is habit stacking. So habit stacking says that you tie a habit that you want to do, a habit that you want to form, to a habit that you already have. So let's say you want to do yoga again, right? And you say, okay, when you wake up at slow time, you already wake up, right? Then maybe you do yoga immediately you wake up. So you know that after I wake up, I'm doing yoga. So it's like systematic, it's like a routine basically. After I wake up, I do this one. After I do this one, I do that one. After I do that one, I do this one. Something like that. Some people might say that living a routine life is boring or something, but then honestly, it is not going to be boring if it's you doing things that you actually enjoy. Remember last week I said you shouldn't just bombard yourself basically, and you should give yourself time, like space yourself. If it's things that you feel you can't do every day, then you can keep it to every week or twice in a week or 3 times in a week, so that it wouldn't be so burdensome for you, right? So you make it as easy as possible, because remember the third law, make it easy. That's the response. You have to be able to respond to it. Make it as easy, make it as doable as humanly possible. Okay, so yes, you tie that current habit of yours to the new habit that you want to do. That is habit stacking. So you just keep stacking those habits, right? So that you would know that after this one, I'm supposed to do this one. You're not really thinking about it. It's now becoming more of a subconscious action than an actual conscious action. So you just wake up, the next thing you do is pray, the next thing you do is read your Bible, stuff like that. It's just flowing, something like that. Yeah, so that is habit stacking. The next one I want to talk about is keeping a habit scorecard. So this habit scorecard is you listing out, okay, it can come before the habit stacking actually. So you would list out all the things that you want to do. All the things that you currently do, rather. You list out all the things you currently do, right? Both the good and the bad, like everything you normally do in a day, everything you normally do in a week, everything you normally do in a month, in a whatever the time you are measuring, right? So you now put a plus sign, an addition sign, in front of the good ones, the good habits, the habits that you feel are beneficial to you. Then you put a negative sign in front of the ones that aren't so beneficial. So in this way, you know what to spend your time on, and the things that are taking your time, the things that you are doing that isn't so productive, and it's like in your face now. It's more visual, it's more of a conscious thing now than you just doing it unconsciously. Remember, the habit is something that you mostly do unconsciously. So you now writing it down is now making you conscious of this thing. So remember that we're not just trying to build good habits, we're also trying to dispose of bad habits. So things that are taking your time, write them down. The ones that are good, to write them down. Do the addition and the subtraction, so that now you will know, okay, this is something that is supposed to be out of here, right? Then you look for the ones that you want to add, the good ones that you want to put, right? And try and fix them into those parts, right? Try and fix them. So that will now mix habit stacking and the keeping the habit scorecard. So you're just like harmonizing it, right? So anyways, all the tips here are supposed to be harmonized. So yeah, remember that. The next one I want to talk about is temptation bundling. I especially like this because it's almost like the punishment and reward system. It's just that it's more of, instead of you buying yourself chocolates or buying yourself a shoe for the reward, right? It's you doing something that you really love, that you really like. So it's like your normal day routine. but now you're putting something that you hate before or after something that you like. So let's say you like watching movies. Like me, I love watching movies. One thing I used to do during exams was that I would try my best to read for so time. Then to reward myself for reading, I would watch maybe 1 hour of a movie or something like that. So yeah, you can do something like that. Something that you really love, just tie it to something that you don't really want to do, but you have to do, basically. Yeah, but and it is good for you, like studying for your exam is very good. So yes, something like that. Temptation bundling helps as well. There's this favorite of mine, and it's called the 2 minutes rule. So it says that you should make your habits very easy, something that can be done under 2 minutes. Okay, so the 2 minutes is going to just help you to start. Like, you might not even, do 1 hour. Let's say, let me give an example. Let's say you want to start working out, and you've never worked out before, so you just give yourself 2 minutes, just 2 minutes, right? And you be like, every day I will show up for 2 minutes at least to do this thing. I'm sure that with time you would be pushed to go above 2 minutes. I remember the time when I started skipping, and I used to skip. You cannot just start skipping in 2 minutes. Your leg will pain you the next day. So let's say I started with 1 minute, right? Started with 1 minute. Then when I saw that I was getting, let's say, stronger and more agile, and my metabolism, everything, my breathing was better, everything was better, I increased to 2 minutes. Then I increased to 5 minutes, like that. I've not skipped in a while, actually, because of the issues I mentioned the last time I talked about things like this. But then I'm just trying to get you to understand that you doing that 2 minutes is just to push you to do this thing, right? So you might not do it as long as you want, but it's just that you are showing up to do this thing. With time, if you keep showing up for that 2 minutes, with time you would be gingered to do it. So now you're going to reduce every good habit that you want to do into 2 minutes. A new habit that you want to form, reduce it into 2 minutes. Let's say you want to start reading a book. So instead of saying I'll read 10 pages or I'll read for 1 hour, you just be like, I'll read something that you can do under 2 minutes. I'll read a page, right? Or 2 pages. I think you should be able to read a page or 2, depending on how the book is, under 2 minutes. Just make it under 2 minutes. If you want to pray every day, you've never, been consistent, you start with, I'll pray for 2 minutes every day. You make sure that you pray for at least 2 minutes every day. So that is the 2 minutes rule. The next one is tracking your habits. So there's this example that James Clear gave that I feel is very powerful. He talked about how a man had a jar. Okay, I think I'm fast forwarding. Okay, he talked about a new sales rep at one sales company, right? He's just a young achiever and all that. He's a let's say novice, starting out his career and all. But he gave himself a goal, right? He said he's going to make, I think, was it 120 sales call or cold calls every day. And to do this, he got 2 jars. One jar was full of 120 pins. Was it safety pins? I think it was safety pins. 120 safety pins, while the other one was empty. So every time he made a call, he would move 1 safety pin from the full jar to the empty jar. And he kept doing that till that other jar became full and this one became empty. And he did that every day. So imagine, he became like the star of that company or something like that, because imagine I'm making 120 cold calls every single day. That's a lot. I mean, out of those 120, at least you will see something, right? And you're doing it every day. So anyways, that was just like a visual cue for him So it made it very obvious to him. He could see that was like a cue. The pins were his cue to call, right? Then the habit of him carrying this, putting this, was like him tracking it. It was him tracking it. And imagine the satisfaction when you see that the other jar that was empty is now full, and it's only full because you did what you were supposed to do. It's not that you're just playing and throwing it there. You actually did what you're supposed to do. So that's the tracking method. There are modern day tracking methods anyways. There are your to-do list apps, your habit tracker apps, your habit tracker apps, your calendar apps, a lot of apps like that can help you to track your progress, track any habits that you want to track and all that. But then you need to be careful, because it's very easy to get lost in tracking, that you feel tracking is the goal. Meanwhile, it's you doing what you're supposed to do that is the goal. Okay, so let's remain focused when we're doing that. Let's not get, when I say stuck into, okay, I want to continue this, like I don't want to break my streak, and you just keep focusing on not breaking the streak instead of doing the actual habit, right? So I need you to just be careful, okay? Yes, we're not supposed to break the chain. We're supposed to show up every single day, but then we want to show up in a way that that will be productive, right? Not that we're just haphazardly doing what we're supposed to do, okay? So yeah, I wanted us to just get that. Then also there's reinforcement. So reinforcement is like you making something stronger, right? It's you just like making something that is already there, like making it stronger, basically. That is reinforcing. So yeah, for your reinforcement, you could have like maybe an accountability partner, someone that would keep you in line, or something, someone or something that will keep you in line, that will remind you, oh, you're supposed to do this, and will scold you if you don't do it, okay? Yes. And James Clyde took this further, and he talked about the habit contract. So this habit contract is almost like a punishment system. So that was why I said I will still go back to the punishment stuff I talked about earlier. So here you kind of enter a contract with your accountability partner or partners, as many as you want, right? So you tell them, this is what I want to do for the week, this is what I want to do for the year, this is what I want to do for the month, blah 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 blah, the quarter and all that. So they are going to hold you accountable, and in this habit contract you're going to write the penalties, the consequences for not doing what you're supposed to do. He gave an example of a man who entered a contract with his wife, and I think was he a lawyer or someone, and he said he was going to pay his wife, was it $500? Something very much anyways. He was going to pay her a lot for not doing what he's supposed to do. And he was going to also pay, okay, no, it was not his lawyer, it was his, is it physical trainer? So he was going to pay that guy too also a lot if he did not do what he was supposed to do. Then as he progressed, as he saw that, okay, he was progressing, he made the punishments even more crazy and all that. So yeah, that's just a way of making sure you do, like, apart from just having an accountability partner, you now take it up a notch and do the habit contract stuff, so that you just don't have any choice but to do what you're supposed to. So okay, I will be stopping here today because honestly it's a lot. I would really like for us to wrap this up next week, okay? So anyways, thank you for being here thus far with me, and I would like to know what you've been thinking, or what you think about this M&M series so far. This is like the 4th or 5th episode. I want to know what you're thinking, okay? So thank you very much for staying with me, and I'll see you guys next time on Everything Eva. Bye.